Good evening, humans. Tyrannosaurusmoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Myth Gods Hades Shadow version from Berserker Studios. This figure was one of those love at first sight sort of situations, so the question is, does that love hold up under scrutiny? Well, let's talk about that. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this figure is both striking and gorgeous. Like I said, this was a love at first sight situation, and the first thing that caught my attention, probably not to the surprise of anyone that watches this channel regularly or knows me in person, just is that metallic purple. It's perfect. It just is the absolute best shade it could be. Sorry, pardon that popping off there, but yeah, it pops. It looks great. It's just the perfect shade of deep purple, so I can have no complaints there. Got some great details, like the pauldron here on the right arm. It almost looks like a xenomorph with these chains coming through. Just great details, contrasting the black here. Got some nice like little details here, like the wraps. Just again, those little individual touches always, I think, just add a ton. And yeah, just really nice kind of semi-asymmetrical design. And yeah, proportions look dead on. Just, you know, obviously this is just an original design of Hades, but just it looks so good. Not only that, but they use the right fabric for the capes. Like it has a really nice flow to it. So as you can see, just that's great. Like that does not need to be wired as far as I'm concerned. Like just it has the right drape, which is rarely seen on soft goods on any figures, never mind third party. So yeah, just really cool there. And then you got these really nice bright blues, which also come across to something we'll touch on in the next section, which is the effects pieces. And those just pop just so well, and just it looks great. And then we get to that, finally to that head sculpt, and just very nicely done. You know, might be seen as a little bit plain by some, but I think it's just very nicely done. Doesn't need any shading or anything as far as I'm concerned, especially with the way they did the eyes. It kind of has a semi-cartoonish look that totally works. And yeah, just think they killed it here. And so yeah, that is aesthetics. We get an absolute plethora of accessories, so let's not waste any time and get right into it with the hands. And so right off the bat, we get a couple of fists. Then we get a pair of gripping hands with the thumb and index finger closed. And then finally, we get an extra right hand with the thumb and index finger separated. So just another gripping hand, kind of a little bit of a looser grip. And that is because we have two separate weapons. So we have a spear, or kind of, yeah, spear sort of weapon. So you can see here is the, pardon me, the handle, the nice dark brown, the purple on it. And that goes with this piece right here. And that is actually shaped to fit just like that. So I get that piece. Then we get this amazing sword, this beautiful magenta translucent plastic. Some nice like great details in aging there. Not only that, also in the paint. So we see the purple overlaid there on the magenta plastic, and then even got some kind of like real nice aging here with this kind of like greenish brown. Just really nice touch they didn't have to put there, but definitely adds a lot. And as you can see, there's a peg here, and that is for the pommel, and that just clips right on right there. So there is that. Then we get two different head sculpts. So we get the one we looked at before. So we get that unmasked head sculpt, very nicely done. And then we get a helmeted head sculpt. As you can see, great look to it, great details all around. This is definitely what I will have on the figure when it's on display. And we actually get a separate faceplate as well. So we get the more kind of traditional Spartan sort of look to it. And then we get this more demonic stylized version as well. So both of those are great. And you can see that, you know, there's these little ports back here and just pegs right on. So very easy to get on and off. Then finally, we get a bunch of effects pieces. And actually starting with that helmet, pretty much all the fire is removable. You can see this just comes right off. There is sculpt under that as well. But this just looks great. The perfect shade of translucent blue, if you ask me, especially against that purple. That just slides right on, so that's excellent. Then we get two arm pieces. So this goes on the left pauldron, and this comes like this in the box, and it just kind of clips on there. And then we get a bicep piece of fire, which also just kind of clips on and holds pretty nicely too. The pauldron's coming off. So as I said that, so we're gonna leave that there. And we get two effects pieces for the weapons. So this comes on the sword initially, this nice kind of swirled up fire effect. And then we get one for the spear weapon, and yeah, just nicely done as well. So that's accessories. Articulation here is beautiful and a dream to work with. However, major caveat is that there's a lot of limiting factors with the armor itself. And so let's get into that and take it piece by piece. So for our head, we are in a dumbbell joint, but it is limited by that hair sculpt, as we would imagine. So we're basically just looking forward. We don't really have any up, but we are looking down pretty nicely, and we do get some side to side. We come to the shoulders, and no butterfly joints, but we do have a really smooth hinge and swivel. Dropping that on the ground. But as you can see, that is my issue, is the armor here pops off very easily. And pardon me, had to get the piece. So you can see there's a very shallow ball joint there. And that is why those will pop off as soon as you bring the arms up, and they come up to just about a T, maybe a little past. So that's unfortunate and definitely can be worked with, but is definitely worth noting. Then we get a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which bring us to there. We have the kind of hinge with 2 pegs, so we can get pretty much anywhere we want to go with the wrists, which is excellent. Then we get a ball joint at the diaphragm. We get a ball joint at the waist. Pardon me, there goes the other pauldron. So we're going really nicely forward, beautifully back as well, and lots of side to side. So pretty much anywhere we want to go torso-wise. And the legs, as you can see, it wasn't a freestanding kick because we are completely hindered by this piece right here. And that's unfortunate because this would easily get into some splits, but the left leg just doesn't go anywhere because of this. I'm seriously considering kind of making a cut coming up here to let that move a little bit more, and then maybe somewhere else. You can see that this piece is held together right here. And yeah, so that works. However, there needs to be a cut somewhere here because yeah, that doesn't get anywhere. Obviously, you're not going to get any forward either. Just it's hindered, and that's really sad because of how well this feels articulating. And yeah, it just doesn't go anywhere. So yeah, so you got a little bit of that. You do get some thigh swivel with that assembly as well. Some double jointed knees coming up pretty much all the way. So that's very, very nice. Then we get our feet also on that kind of, hinge. So we get some very nice point, some beautiful forward as well. We even get a toe joint, and we get some incredible rocker there as well. So great stuff, just hindered by the actual armor itself. So yeah. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with a couple other relevant warrior style figures, with some Hasbro and some Mattel, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with articulated icons, Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valaverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Myth Gods Hades Shadow version from Berserker Studios is that this is a great figure. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The amount of accessories is great. The articulation is nice and fluid. The only thing that really holds us back for me, again, is the fact that some of the armor kind of limits that. Whether it's because of the pauldrons falling off or the kind of skirt piece just limiting those legs so much. And again, I'm gonna make some cuts probably to just kind of extend that, but as it stands, it's just really frustrating, which is unfortunate because honestly, this would have been a shoe-in for top 3 figures of the year. Just that those little frustrations kind of hold it back a little bit for me. It still might make an appearance on the list, just probably won't be as high up as it would have otherwise been. But other than that, I cannot recommend this enough. It's a fun figure to have, and if you are really into this sort of aesthetic and this sort of figure, definitely worth picking up and just having it on the shelf because it looks great. This, or I would imagine the other version of it, the gold armored version. So this is still available from a couple online retailers. The ones I can think of off the top of my head are Big Bad Toy Store and 5K Toys. So I'll have links to those in the description below so you can pick this up if you are so interested. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. And if you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, all that good stuff. Other ways to help the channel in the description as well. And ultimately, I hope you come back and join me again because I do multiple reviews a week of action figures related to tokusatsu, dinosaurs, monsters, pro wrestling, and more, as you can see here. So come on back, let's talk some more toys, let's have some more fun. And with all that being said, I hope you are well. I hope that all of your toy dreams come true. And most importantly, I hope that you and yours stay weird, simians.